Hi everyone, this is Dom. I just came back from the latest road trip, and I just wanted to take a minute this morning to share it with you. My voice is still, oh my God, we didn't sleep much. This is almost like part of what we do. When we go on road trips like that, you get so many places to see in so little time. What happens is that I told my kids, you're going to sleep while we're back. Well, no, they were lucky because they were able to sleep in the car while I was driving, but I probably caught the equivalent of 2 hours of sleep a night for about 2 weeks and a half. So it was awesome. It was awesome. There's no other way to describe it. Nobody else but me would do something like that. I've been doing it for 25 years, and I'm never going to change because there's so many places to see, so many things to do, that the only problem is time. 24 hours in a day is not long enough. And it was one hell of a road trip that started out in New York City. What beautiful, beautiful city, one of my favorite cities in the world, where I met my good friend Amanda and her daughter Alana and her sister and Melissa, and it was a pleasure, to finally meet both of them after so many years. Amanda, you're awesome. You're amazing, and I can't wait to see you soon. Your daughter is awesome too. Your sister is awesome too, and my kids loved everybody. And my friend Mike too. So I just can't wait to see you soon. And we saw a beautiful sunset. Probably the most underrated place in New York is the Harbor, the tip of Manhattan, a little bit farther from 9/11. You can walk there. It's maybe 10-minute walk, and it's absolutely stunning. The trees and everything, and then you can see Jersey City in front, the Statue of Liberty. We took the Staten Island ferry that drove us right around the statue so we could take beautiful pictures, and it's free, completely free. You can come back at night, and there's a lot of stuff to see. We saw the 9/11 memorial. We saw the One World Trade Center. We saw a lot of beautiful buildings, but mostly what we did see was the harbor, and the trees and the lights at night. It's so beautiful, and the beautiful yachts on the water. I posted a lot of pictures. For those who don't follow me on Twitter, at DomGhosthunter, or on my Facebook page, DomGhosthunter Paranormal, on my YouTube channel under my name, Dominique Bouchard, you'll see a lot of those videos and those beautiful places that we saw, and it was awesome. Coffee, my Captain America mug that I bought. Nothing beats a coffee in the morning. And, so we basically walked around New York. And then I did something, that for the first time ever in my 7 years of doing paranormal investigation and sharing it with you guys on Twitter and Facebook, that brought me a few comments. I wouldn't say negative because, I talk to everybody. I always said, whether you agree with what I do or whether you agree with something that I do or not, it's okay. We can talk. We're human. We're adults. We can talk about it. We can discuss it as long as it stays respectful. I got no problem with that. So actually, I was kind of pleased, to see that people cared enough to send me messages. And it's a touchy subject. And I talked about it earlier before on other podcasts, that there's some places you go, you can investigate, after the fact, 20, 15, 100, thousands of years later. It's okay, you can go now to places, in Germany, or not necessarily in Germany, but I remember a friend of mine, MJ, my teammate, she went to some of the concentration camps in Austria, and investigated there, and got so much residual energy of people that are still trapped there and everything. So I always knew, being sensitive, that when I went back a few years, I was there, when it happened, when 9/11, I was on the road trip in Texas, and I was coming back home. And, it was a jam, and then we could see the fire in the sky, and it traumatized me, because, like I said before, even though I'm Canadian, I consider myself a North American, and the United States, it's my family. It's like there's no difference for me between the United States and Canada. We're all part of the same country. It's North America. So to me, it really, really hurt me. And I know it hurt everybody. That day was the day the world stopped turning for a while. And I remember, so I went back about a year later, and I went back maybe 5 or 6 times, but I've been there for about 10 years. And I always knew that, I always felt that there was a lot of residual energy there. There's so much happening in such a little period that, I think that even though I'm not sure the spirits are still there, but maybe, some form of energy reside where the buildings collapsed. And it's very emotional for me right now, so I always felt that if I could go there, with my ghost box, and maybe just try to talk and explain to them that it's over. It's been 20 years almost now. And they can go there free to go. And the buildings have been placed by the beautiful One World Trade Center, and 2 gigantic pools. It's beautiful, 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 beautiful. And they have the name of everybody that died during the collapse of the towers. And on their birthday, they put a little flower on the name. Every day, they go there and they make sure that they have a list and they put a flower. And we were there when 2 of the family members or people that work at the One World Trade Center, they went and they put a flower on top of a name that we filmed it. And we said happy birthday. And it was emotional, man. It still is right now talking about it. And to me, to do the Ghost Box session was in no way, shape, or form disrespectful. It was just that I wanted to pay my respect to those who died so horribly on this day. And, I posted maybe 20 minutes of it on my YouTube channel, but spent about maybe 2 hours doing it. And I caught so much stuff that it's almost impossible to explain. It's overwhelming. The overwhelming... First of all, I let the ghost box go for a while. There wasn't much, and then I started talking and say, Dom, I'm from Canada, I'm here, pay my respect. And all of a sudden, you start hearing those, if you want to see the video, you can go and check it, but help and help me and screams. And, you can actually, at one point, we're standing right where Tower 2 was. And we can hear, there's a fire. And I was like, holy shit. I was with the man, and we were both crying, like they were trapped, And I said, there's no fire anymore. The fire is over, Now it's beautiful. It's peaceful here. But you're never going to be forgotten. And there was so much stuff going on. Help and, at one point... captain, kind of like 2, people, it could be firemen, talking to each other. And it was crazy, absolutely crazy. I can't really describe it. It's just the kind of thing you got to live, to go through, to experience, to be able to talk about it. And it shook me up, really, really shook me up. But I kind of was expecting it. So it's always good to be prepared, an investigation, like I said before. If you go to a place where that's going to be haunted, like Bobby Mackey or, Waverly Hills or an Alcatraz, you got to be prepared because you never know what can happen. It drains a lot out of you, like in The Conjuring. I remember Head saying, every investigation takes a piece of Lauren. And I believe that because when you invest yourself so much that a little piece of you stays there. And it really affected me emotionally, and it drained me of energy for about 2 days after that. But it was something that I wanted to do, and I will do again, because if I can in my lifetime help 1, 2, maybe 3 spirits, like I think we did a few years ago at Fort Pulaski, I'm going to come back and talk about it later on the podcast. But, if that's basically, what I do, why I do it. So... was emotional. So that night, driving back to the hotel was very tough. The next day, we were driving towards Florida, and we stopped at the Bentonville battlefield in North Carolina. And over 500 soldiers died over there during the Civil War, so we just paid our respect. Did a ghost box session, and we caught a few things, It was a very wide open range, feel where different than Gettysburg, but you imagine a war there. There's nothing to hide. There's a tree a tree line behind the battlefield, but the battlefield is an open field, or if a bunch of people face each other, it's going to be a massacre, and that's what it was. So, still felt the energy in that battlefield. Not as much as Gettysburg, but you can feel it. So we kept driving, and I'm just going to stick to the big things, and in Florida, it's more, it did a little bit of urban exploration of the old Marine Stadium, which is pretty cool in Key Biscayne. And, it's a beautiful building, right across the river. It used to have boat shows and everything. Now it's closed, and it's just a skeleton of a building, and it's sad to see it go like this. But still, it's like Brian Cano says, there's beauty in decay, and it's a beautiful building, my kind of building. Believe that. This is, if you give me a choice between a 5-star hotel and a place like this, guess what I'm going to choose? No way. I'm not going to choose a 5-star hotel. I'm going to take that creepy place, that's for sure. So on our way to Florida, we also stopped and saw a beautiful, I haven't posted anything yet, but abandoned motel by the side of the road on Route 17, just at the junction of Georgia and Florida. Because when they built the 95 highway, that route became a little bit extinct. Not as many cars passed through. So the motel went bankrupt, and now it sits abandoned in the middle of a field. And again, beautiful. Walk in there, mattresses are still there. Creepy place, but also, like I said before, absolutely beautiful. So it was very, very cool to explore that abandoned motel that I saw pictures on the internet before. And we entered the old abandoned liquor store too, and that was a very cool location, very, very cool location. So then Florida, we basically relaxed, in my dad's condo in Pompano, and we had a good time, drinking a lot of beer, whiskey, and swimming. And the kids had fun, but about, I don't know how many pop, vinyl to add to their collection. Then there's videos out there you can see, and WWE wrestlers, ringside collectibles here, my money, that's where it goes. Ringside collectibles and Funko, for the pop vinyl. We bought Chris Jericho, Ty Dillinger, all the new guys, Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles, The Revival, American Alpha, Gallows and Anderson, Andrade Cien Almas. It was cool. So here we go. We kept on driving, and we went to Savannah, Georgia, and we spent a night there at Savannah. It was awesome, and I also wanted to go back because 2 years ago, me, Steve, and MJ, we investigated with Shane Steve, Bianca, and Jonathan, in Fort Pulaski. A fort that was used during the Civil War, and that fort in Savannah, Georgia, is absolutely beautiful by the side of the water, the Savannah River. It's a beautiful on TB Island, beautiful fort. And there's underground tunnels. And me and Steve and Shane, we caught something. You can go back. I'm going to post the video on my YouTube channel. You can check. Steve also has a montage of it. We caught the spirit of a slave that was trapped in the tunnels that we helped, we think, to free from that place. And when we were on top of the, of the fort later on during that afternoon, the spirit said, "Thank you." So we have a feeling that we say, "Hey, you don't have to stay here anymore," and that's basically what we caught, and we tried. Did we? Hopefully we did. Help the spirit go from the tunnel where it was trapped for years. So that was one of the coolest and most emotional thing we ever did. And now I wanted to go back inside the same tunnel and see if there was still other spirit there, or the spirit was back there, whatever. So, and for about an hour and a half, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I was kind of happy for the first time ever that we didn't catch anything, because it was a follow-up investigation. And as much as we caught a lot of things this time around in the tunnels, I caught nothing. On top of the fort, caught a few things. I caught what seemed to be a soldier talking to another soldier, and a few direct responses that I don't really remember because I've done so many things in 2 weeks and a half. It's all filmed. It's on tape. I'm going to have to review it. But we did cut a few things, on the ghost box on top of the fort and at the fort, but inside the tunnels, nothing. So Shane and Steve, that was amazing. I think that we helped. That's why we do what we do, to help. So I'm not saying that I didn't catch anything on that particular day, that it's not there anymore, there's no spirits there, but I'm just saying that I was happy not to hear the same spirit. To me, it gives me the feeling that we help set it free from that place where it seemed to be trapped back in the day. So 2 years ago. So that was cool. So from Fort Pulaski, we went to Savannah, walked at night, saw a beautiful cruise ship. We walked Savannah at night. It's not the most touristic period of the year. There's not a lot of people, but still get that vibe, get that feeling that you're not alone. Every time you walk in there, it's a beautiful city. During the day, at night, it's kind of creepy, and that's how I like it. Beautiful at day and creepy at night. Even better when it's creepy at day, but the Spanish moss trees, as beautiful as they are, when it's nighttime, they almost seem to be waving at you. It's like the spirits are caught inside those, that moss. That's incredible. It just waves at you and kind of looks at you. I love the vibe from Savannah. It's I said before, one of my top 5 cities in the United States, with Santa Fe, Phoenix, and wow, there's so many of them now. Boone, North Carolina, and I would probably have to ask to add Las Vegas, Sin City. And it was amazing to spend an evening and a night in Savannah. And then we headed to the Blue Mountain Ridge region in North Carolina. Oh my God, I never expected it to be this beautiful. It was absolutely, stunningly, wonderfully beautiful. And the real reason why I wanted to go there was for the famous Brown Mountain Lights that no scientist has been able to explain yet. There's theories what it could be, but you have to remember that those lights have been seen for over 1,200 years. So it's not the cities, it's not a train, it's not a UFO, it's just something mysterious that they haven't been able to explain yet, but we wanted to see it at night. So we there's a few spots. Mile marker 301 on Blue Ridge Parkway to 310. So we parked ourselves on 310. Marker 310, and the guy came in. He said, no, that's not a spot, man. Follow me. I'll bring you to the Brown Mountain between Linville and I think Morgantown. So there's like a little spot. That's the spot you got to be. I said, okay, good. And later on, I read it is the spot to be. So we were there. We arrived at maybe 10:30. We left it was about 3 a.m. And at first, we saw a lot of stars in the sky, a lot of stars, and we're like, oh, it's beautiful. I was looking for something spectacular. I haven't watched anything before that of the lights because I want to go blind, like when I go investigate. So I wanted to go like not knowing what they look like. Is this giant blue, red, white, and blue balloons? Is it like aurora boreal? Is it like big balls of fire or whatever? So I didn't know. So we saw a lot of stars. And when you keep looking, then I said, well, it's just my eyes playing tricks on me. It looked like stars were moving. And there's also planes driving across the sky. You can easily see the planes, and you see that they're going north, south, east, or west. And, they keep going in the same range. So you can't mistake a plane. We saw 5 or 6 planes during the whole night. So, what was planes, we knew were planes. And you hear them also. But those little white lights that look like stars that were moving, when you start paying attention and you look, they grow a little like white. Then they turn to green, and then they turn to red, and then they seem to go a bit bigger, and they move left, right. They start circling, and you go like, "Fuck! It's my eyes playing tricks on me," Of course it is. But my kids were there, and my friend Mike was there, and there were 2 of the guys beside us, and they were like, what the fuck? At first they didn't see it. When I showed them, they were like, what the hell is that? So we kept looking, and then we saw a woman. Said, I come here all the time, I see that. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. And one time I saw it shooting straight from the mountain, because they were not underneath the mountain, the size of the mountain, they were in the sky, but lower than stars would be, of course. But you could mistake it for stars when you're looking, because it was a clear blue sky, not that blue, but it was a clear night, with a lot of stars in the sky. So that's a perfect night to do to watch for the lights, but at the same time, you can easily mistake it for stars. If it had been like cloudy sky, it would have been like, what the hell is that? Even more so. So, we kept looking and looking and looking, and one in particular, there was two. We actually saw two, maybe three. So there was not a lot of them. So the one that I was looking at was going west, back and forth, coming back, but the movement was going west. And all of a sudden, when I kept staring at it, it just shot down, like towards the mountain, and stopped and just disappeared. So I'm like, what? And then another one appeared, a new one, about the same height, over the mountains. And it kept blinking, turning red and green, and it started feeling like it was moving towards us, which was weird, which was exciting, which was creepy, which was everything you want to say. The two guys left. The two guys besides me, they said, I'm out of here. And my kids started being scared. So, we had to leave, because that's the last thing in the world. My kids are like me, they love it. But when it comes to UFO, it's different. I said before, if it's a ghost, I'm not afraid. If it's a human being, I'm afraid. Because, I've never been hurt by a ghost, but I've been hurt by human beings. And also, Bigfoot, I don't want to have anything to do with it, because if it exists, it's going to shred me apart. But a UFO, if it's a UFO, I'm not saying it's a UFO, but anything that you can't explain like this, a lot of people say it's paranormal. I don't think it's paranormal. I don't think it's pareidolia. I don't think it's UFOs. I don't think it's light. It's people, playing with lights, whatever. I just don't know. For thousands of years, and now hundreds of years, scientists have tried to say what it is, and they haven't been able to come up with any explanation. So I know what it is. It is unexplained. This is what it is. It's Brown Mountain Lights. I experienced it. It was freaking awesome. Problem is, I only had my cell phone. So when I shot it, don't see shit. So, I experienced it. It's going to be something in the books that I experienced. But unfortunately, there's no footage. I still posted a video because I wanted to hear the excitement and people to feel the adrenaline that was going on. But I don't think we see anything. If you do see something, tell me. I'll be more than happy. But I don't think we saw anything with the cell phone. My eyes, it was clear as day. And that's the good part. We went back to the hotel. The first thing I did, go on the Wi-Fi, check Brown Mountain Lights on Google, and go see the pictures and the videos. And the first thing that struck me, the first picture ever that was taken, was exactly what we saw. Exactly what we saw. Because I expected it to be like a spectacular, like something like green or, but big, no. Most of the pictures that people caught from the Brown Mountain Lights are little circular dots, red, green, yellow, white, like we did see. The same size, but some are underneath the mountain, some are at the top of the mountain, moving to the mountains. So that's the thing. So that's very special, that's very special. We saw it with our own eyes. We couldn't explain it, never going to be able to explain it. And that's cool, That's pretty cool. That was very exciting, and it's something that stayed with me, and that is going to stay with me for the rest of my life. I keep thinking about it, and I got goosebumps right now just talking about it. It was very special. Very, very special. Very, 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 very special.